Hi, I'm Crystal Stump, founder and CEO of ABC Consulting and former Virginia ABC Special Agent from the Alcoholic Beverage Control Authority. Today, we are going to talk about how long it takes to get a Virginia alcohol license. Pour yourself a drink. You're going to need it. Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning into this video. We're going to talk about how long it takes to get a Virginia alcohol license. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you're notified of all of our new videos. And if you like this video or you found it informative, please hit the like button. That helps me to get my videos out so that we can help more people in the state of Virginia learn about alcohol licensing, compliance, and training. So as you know, I am the owner of ABC Consulting, and we help businesses across the state of Virginia with obtaining an ABC license as quickly as possible and as correctly as possible. So how long does it take to get a Virginia alcohol license? Well, it kind of depends on a couple of things. It depends on the license type, and it depends on how good of attention to detail you have. So let's start with a couple of things. First, you need to understand the different license types. There's banquet licensing in the state of Virginia. We refer to it as a one-day license. A banquet license is what the ABC Authority calls it, and that's basically good for one day. And it allows you to have a license in an area that's unlicensed for an event, a birthday party, a festival. It can be for a weekend, but you have to get multiple days. That type of licensing. That type of licensing takes roughly about 30 days to get approved, depending on the exact license type even there. Obviously, a wedding reception or a birthday party will go a lot quicker than a festival license. So there's approximately 10 different banquet licenses available. We help decide the best license type for our clients and make sure that the application is filled out correctly and that the license is ultimately approved. So if you do need help with getting a license for a one-day event, you can visit our website at vaabc.com. That's going to take you right to our ABC Consulting page. And from there, you click on the wedding bouquet button, and that's going to take you to our one-day licensing form. You just simply fill that out, and based on your answers, we determine the best one-day license type for you, and then make sure that it is filled out correctly and that it is approved in a timely manner. Now, the other type of licensing that the ABC Authority does is the retail licensing. So if you're going to be opening a restaurant, a convenience store, a day spa, maybe a grocery store, or even an internet retailer type of store, that is the type of licensing that you're going to be in as far as the 3 tiers is the retail licensing. And then the third one is the industry licensing, and that's going to entail the wineries, the breweries, the distilleries, basically the manufacturers of alcohol. So that is a whole different type of division as well. So you have your one-day licensing, industry licensing, and retail licensing. And all of those are investigated and approved with different timelines and in different departments within the ABC Authority. So it can vary depending on the exact license type. So let's talk about the most common. Let's talk about a typical retail license for a restaurant. If you're wanting to open a restaurant and you need an ABC license, my recommendation is that you apply for that license as soon as you acquire the location. So whether you own the property or if you are leasing the property, once you have that finalized, go ahead and submit that application. You cannot really submit it before you have the property because the license is issued to the entity as well as the location. So if you don't have a location nailed down exactly, I don't recommend that you apply because you have to apply under that licensing address and you have to do legal publications with that address, and it could be costly if you decide to change locations. So once you have your location determined, whether it's leased or owned, then you can submit that application. Now, right now, the ABC Authority is taking the applications via mail. So they're all going to the ABC Authority and headquarters in Richmond, and they're being reviewed. If your application is filled out incorrectly, or there's incorrect information on it or incomplete information on it, it can be mailed back to you after it has sat there or been reviewed. I mean, there's a lot of applications, obviously, that the ABC Authority receives. And if it's wrong, it's going to go in one pile. If it's incomplete, it's going to go in another pile. And if it's got a lot of errors and can't be really corrected easily, it's going to be mailed back to you. So you could be thinking everything is going fine with your application and moving along or moving forward, and you're planning to open and operate, and then bam, you get your license application back in the mail and you have to start over because it's either everything's incorrect or you didn't fill it out completely. So that can obviously cause a delay in getting the alcohol license issued. So you want to make sure that you have good attention to detail to when you're filling out an application. Right now, they do not accept applications online. I believe they were planning to launch some sort of online system where you could submit retail applications online, but in January, I think that was when it was supposed to happen, but for whatever reason, it's not operable and working, so you have to do it the old-fashioned way. But anyway, when you print that application off, you want to make sure that you fill out all of the information accurately and completely. You know, you can't leave blanks, you can't guess, you don't want to get your address wrong, whether it's a suite number, you don't want to get your entity name wrong. You wouldn't believe how many people complete applications with their entity being incorrect. And usually that's because they pick very unusual entity names. For example, they might pick an address that would be maybe just 100 West Broad Street, for example. And when they fill out their ABC application, they put 100 W Broad Street, but when they actually registered with the State Corporation Commission, they spelled out West for 100 West, spelled out Broad Street, or street being spelled out. This happens way more frequently than you think. You register your entity with the State Corporation Commission, sometimes you forget exactly how you registered it. And then if it's not an easy name, it can cause a lot of delays with getting your license approved. Because if you apply in a name that's different than your SCC name, that's a totally different entity. And if you apply for other permits in that name with a misspelling or incorrectly, it causes major delays. So even something as far as having the word enterprises in your entity name, some people forget that it was enterprises plural versus enterprise, and that causes a lot of delay. So my advice is pick a very, very, very simple entity name and something that's not personal, maybe something generic, so that way if you ever do decide to sell your entity, it won't have personal names attached to it, if you will, or something that doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't matter, but I would keep it generic, you know, so that if you do ever decide to sell the entity name. Now remember, your trade name is different than your entity name, so just making sure that application is filled out correctly is going to be the major determination on how quickly your license will be approved. And also making sure that you apply for the right license. If you apply for the wrong license and you go through this whole 60-day, 90-day process and the agent is coming out to do the final on-site inspection prior to issuing your license and you don't even qualify for the license, that would be an awful waste of your time, everybody's time, and you'll have to start over if you have to apply for a completely different license type. So remember also, for a retail license or an industry license, you have a 30-day objection period. So that will be begin when you do your legal publication in the newspaper, and 30 days after that. During that 30-day objection period, that allows for any objectors to come forward. So this could be competitors, civic leagues, residents who may not want a license issued at the address of where you're planning to do business. They can come forward within those 30 days to be able to object to the license being issued. Now, just because they object does not mean that you're going to not get your license. It just causes delay, and there could be mediation or an ABC application hearing held to hear both sides of the story, whether it be the objectors or even the city, or even sometimes the enforcement division might even object to your license being issued for various reasons. So that could certainly cause delay if your license ends up going, your license application ends up going to a hearing. Sometimes that could be 6 to 7 months delay. So you do want to make sure that you kind of do your research and you know what it is that you want to do and make sure you qualify for the license that you're applying for. and that you go through this process smoothly. That's what we do. We have great attention to detail. We know what the ABC Authority is looking for on your application. And quite frankly, the new application that just rolled out in January, it's got a lot of information on there that it's missing questions. For example, it doesn't even ask for an email address. They may get that corrected eventually. I did let them know, but it doesn't ask for an email address. Doesn't ask for a mailing address if you want your mail going to a different address than your physical location. You know, there's just some things that are missing on there. So we know what needs to be on there so that it expedites your license approval. And also all the supporting documents that's needed. Your SCC docs, operating agreements, lease agreements, deeds, those types of things related to your business have to be provided to the ABC Authority in order for your license to be approved. So we look over those things. We're not attorneys. We don't give legal advice. We're simply giving you our opinion or telling you what's going to be accepted or not accepted to the ABC Authority. So, you know, knowing if your lease is missing something or it's not in the right name or it's in the misspelled name or whatever, that's just one small example. We want to look at that right away, because having a lease amended or changed, that can take weeks depending on where the landlord is located. So it is very important that you know, we know what to tackle first that's going to cause delay. Let's say that you forget to do your publishing in the local newspaper. Well, then you're going to have to do that, and you're going to have to wait 30 days in order for that license to be approved to get past that objection period. We have all the connections with the newspapers across the state of Virginia so that we know when the deadline is to get your publication in and when it's going to run, so it runs as quickly as possible, so those 30 days pass as quickly as possible. And that just speeds up again your approval. And you may not be in a hurry to get your license, but I recommend that if you're trying to get an ABC license, that you go in, do it right, and get it approved. Letting a license just be in a pending state for months and months and months will ultimately end up getting your license withdrawn, and you're going to have to start over. And those application fees are non-refundable. You're going to have to pay application fees again, have to pay publishing fees again. So it's not something that you'd want to put in necessarily too early. But you want to get it in as soon as you can and get it approved as quickly as possible. Some people call and they say, I need an ABC license and my grand opening is next weekend. You know, that's a major problem. There's no way possible to get an alcohol license for a business in a week. It's going to take at least, you're going to have to get past that 30-day objection period. So you have to think about that. And then some people want to apply for a license before they even have a space picked out. And I don't recommend that at all because, again, because of the address. So, you know, talking with us, we can help you decide when the best time is to put in that application. We want to get you ready for your site inspection so that when the agent comes out, you have everything in order so that your site inspection goes quickly and seamlessly. We want to make sure that your license gets approved quickly, and then once you're approved, with our training and our mock inspections and mystery shopper, we do all of those things for you. We help you with your mixed beverage annual review, your record keeping, sales, making sure your sales are compliant every month. All of those things, you know, really help. Now with the industry side of things, you know, if you're opening a winery or brewery distillery, the application process right now is very similar, where you still mail that application to the Richmond headquarters, and a compliance agent will be ultimately approving that license, and it has to go through the same thing, the publishing period and the 30-day objection period, and then making sure that you have all of your things in order before that site inspection. So this might have been a little long-winded answer on how long does it take to get an ABC license, and I think that you understand it kind of depends on you, but also, you know, you have to get through that 30-day period. We get our clients licensed relatively quickly. We do, you know, when you're opening a restaurant, there is so many things going on. It's like building a house. Things kind of have to come in at the same time at the very end. Your health permit is needed for the ABC license to be approved, and that will not be issued till the very, very end. And you don't want to forget about applying for that, because that can take 60 days in Virginia. So we want to make sure that you're doing all of your applications and all of your permits are in the right name. We don't want to get your health permit at the very last minute and you've applied for it in the wrong name. You did it in your personal name instead of your entity name, and now you got to go back to the health department and have that redone. You know, that could cause another week or two in delay right when you were ready to open. So, how important is the alcohol sales to you? You have to ask yourself that. When you open your business in your first week of sales, how much are you anticipating getting from the sale of alcohol? You need to think about that. Every week that goes by, do you really want to open your business and have a grand opening without alcohol? Not many people do, because you have this big grand opening, you have all these people come out to your business, and there's no alcohol, then the word goes out, well, it's a great restaurant, but they don't have alcohol. And they don't know when you're going to get your alcohol license, so they don't come back next week because they think you might not have your alcohol license. So these are all things, as a business owner, you have to really think about, prepare, research, and hopefully you'll use us to help you with that. We love to work with our clients early on in their project and go with them throughout the process. So thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. Have a great day, and cheers.